Hey guys, Brent here. Just recording a quick video because I bought these Ohne Project 80 series shoes, and I was looking around online. I could not find much in the way of reviews, and I thought, well, I'm going to take a punt on it, so I should probably be the guy to do it. I don't intend to keep doing shoe reviews. This is just a one-off pretty much, just to give you my thoughts. I've been wearing barefoot shoes for over a decade now. Started with the Vibram 5 fingers back when that was a thing. Actually, they're probably still are a thing, but not something that I wear anymore. That's just not the look that I'm going for anymore. More recently, recent years, I've been buying Viva Barefoot, which is obviously a super huge player in the barefoot market, and I've just really been enjoying it. I think it's really healthy. I sing their praises. But lately, I've been looking for something that looks a little bit more like a traditional shoe, something that's got a little bit more chunk to it, something that's perhaps a little bit less sporty. That's where I find the Viva Barefoot does well. Is they're great in the gym, great for out walking and hiking and doing all of those things. But if you're just about town and you want something with a little bit more of a traditional aesthetic, then I still don't find that they've got anything really that appeals to me. So I was looking around on Instagram, managed to find Ohne Project. They hand make the shoes in Spain, apparently. And when I looked at the website, I saw the cost of them as well. And I thought, okay, that's priced similarly to Viva Barefoot shoes. In fact, probably a little bit more. I took a little bit of a risk in ordering them because I live in the UK, and on their website, they say that they won't do refunds for people that are not living within an EU country. So I got a hold of them, paid a bit more for shipping. In the end, it cost me £156, which for the Americans is about $194. That includes the shipping. I managed to forget to use the 10% discount for signing up to their newsletter, so that was a bit of a facepalm moment. But I got hold of them. They turned up a few days ago. These are them. It's the 80 series shoes, and these are the ones in vintage white. The packaging they came in was quite basic, shoebox with a bit of paper, but I'm kind of okay with that. I'm a little bit over, super nice packaging that you clearly had to spend extra money on just to receive, and then they, it gets thrown away or recycled pretty quickly. So I'm pretty happy with something simple. One of the things that I noticed when I first opened them is that these are not as white as I was expecting. I thought it was going to be more of a kind of clean paper white, and I think that's the way that, I don't know, it's probably just my phone screen, computer screen, just the way that the camera white balance and everything picks it up. I was expecting a little bit more of a white like this. It turns out something a little bit more, off-white, closer to cream. It's called vintage white, I should have known. But that's worth mentioning. You can probably see that actually in some of the B-roll here. Just notice the contrast with the white socks and things, and then you'll get a better idea of what color they actually are. Something that's, for others like me, that's worth noting. In terms of how they look in real life, one of the things that I was looking to avoid with the barefoot shoe is the kind of rounded toe end. So I know that sounds stupid, because actually the whole point of barefoot shoes is you have a lot more space there for your toes. That's something that I know that I want from a functional perspective, but I don't want them to look like they've got a whole lot more space on the end there. So I'm asking for the impossible. I know that. I think these guys do give it a good compromise. Again, you can see that in some of the videos compared to other shoes. They definitely have that more rounded aspect to it. But I think because that they've built in some chunk into the rest of the shoe, it kind of proportions it nicely. It almost like widens the rest of the shoe and then gives it a bit more of a more uniform look. But definitely certain angles you can kind of still see it's got that rounded element to it. And I'm happy with the compromise as long as I get that function. They look pretty good to me. I'm quite happy with them. They have turned out to be, I think, a halfway house between more traditional shoes and barefoot shoes. So I think that's the way that you should think about them, really, is a halfway house. So for example, when you look at the weight, I weighed these out. I weighed Viva Barefoots. They came in super lightweight. They're super thin. If you've got them, you know what I mean. and yeah, weighed more traditional shoe, which you should note the one there in the video is not the same size as the others. It's a smaller size, so actually it would weigh slightly more. And then when you weigh these Project Ohne shoes, they end up somewhere in the middle. And I think that's pretty reflective of how you should see the shoe in all other aspects. So that's for weight, that's for the look of them. They don't quite look like a normal traditional shoe. They don't quite look like a barefoot shoe. They're somewhere in the middle. And in terms of flexibility and that whole barefoot experience as well, they're also somewhere in the middle. So took them for a spin outside, walking up to get a haircut earlier, and just noticed that I can't feel the ground as much as I could in the Vivos, which are just super flexible, like 2mm skinny. But I can definitely still feel the ground underneath me. They still bend around the edge of a curb, for instance, when you're standing on that. If you walk over, like a manhole cover that's got kind of like a texture through it, you can still feel that there's a bit of a texture in there. You could still feel stones underneath. Not as much as the Vivo Barefoot, but definitely more than traditional shoes. So direct down the line, I think these are a halfway house in between. And so that kind of answers the question, who are these shoes for? So if it's important for you to get more of a traditional look in the shoe, to maybe have it look a little bit better, and you're willing to sacrifice on some of that barefoot experience, these are perfect for that. They do exactly that. You also have to have the budget for it. They're still a little bit expensive. If, on the other hand, you are still looking for that full barefoot experience, you want to feel everything, you want to have super lightweight, you want to feel something close to not having shoes on, as close as you can get while still having shoes on in public, these are not them. I wouldn't get these for that reason. They're definitely somewhere in the middle. So in terms of fit and sizing and how they feel when wearing them, so my normal footwear size is a 9, and for Vivo Barefoot, those shoes, I get them in an 8, so a size down. This is a UK 8. I think an 8 is an EU size 42, if that's helpful. The Ohne Project website has a size guide on it, and you get a bit of paper out and a measuring tape and a pencil, and you go through their size guide. And for me, that turned out to be, they were recommending a size 8 or EU 42, so the same as a Vivo Barefoot size. Those are the ones that I ended up ordering, and when I put them on, I noticed that there's a lot less room inside of the shoe when wearing that size, wearing a size 8. So it's not tight, not uncomfortable, perfectly happy to walk pretty far in them, and I think they will be comfortable. It's just that they don't quite have as much room for your toes to splay. I think you'll notice that just on that end of the shoe. That toe box doesn't feel like there's quite as much. It might be because the shoes aren't as thin on the inside. There is a little insole in there that's quite thin, but we're talking millimeters here is going to make a difference to how they feel. So yeah, if you're the kind of person that needs a little bit more space like that, I'm trying to think, if I ordered next time, would I size up? I don't know, because these do fit, and I would worry about tripping over them if I did size up. They did send some extra insoles that are a little bit thicker. They came in the box, and I'd imagine that's useful if you're in a particularly cold country, and when you're not walking, obviously your feet chill down pretty fast and you'll want a thicker insole. I wouldn't dream of wearing these shoes with that thicker insole. I don't think there would be enough space for it. But yeah, if you're in a country that's cold, I would definitely recommend sizing up so that you can do that. If you're wearing thick socks, then yeah, probably consider sizing up. But yeah, if you've got thin socks and you're wearing just the basic thin insole that's in there, you would get away with getting your normal size for Vivo Barefoot. Or if you don't know your size in Vivo Barefoot, just follow the Ohne Project's size guide, and that will be fine, I think. But yeah, there definitely would be scope for sizing up. And if you're in between sizes, definitely size up. So in terms of build quality, that's one thing that I can't talk about with these. They look great, no idea how long they're going to last. There's only one way to tell, and that's just to stick them on and walk far and for a few months. And after that, you'll see whether or not they're holding up. I find with the Vivo Barefoot in particular that lately, I think the Primus light knits and all that sort of thing, they tend to get holes like round about there that doesn't take long to happen at all. Within a couple of months, that's starting to happen. I don't know what's going to happen with these. I'd like to find out. Like I said at the beginning, I'm not intending to keep reviewing shoes. That's not a thing that I'm particularly looking to do. However, if you guys are interested, if there's a bunch of extra questions that you have for things that I've not covered, chuck it all down in the comments. Yeah, I'll have a look through there. If there's enough comments in there and there's enough interest, then I'll look to do an update video, maybe in 2 or 3 months, just to see how they're going. But yeah, let me know if that's going to be valuable to you. But otherwise, thanks guys. Overall, pretty happy with them. Would look to get some more as well in the future. And I hope that they're able to do shipping and returns to the UK and exchanges and all that sort of thing. But we'll see. I'm super happy about the Ohne project. I'm glad they're doing what they're doing. I'm glad they exist. I wish them all the best. And yeah, thanks guys. Have a good one.